What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. On today's edition of Gear God's Quality Control, we're going to be comparing all three Alpha Omega pedals from DARKGLASS. Let's just go ahead and tweak the knobs and see what kind of sounds we can get out of these three pedals. So now that you've heard each of the three pedals, what is it exactly that's different between the three in terms of features? Let's take a look. The three different pedals are the Alpha Omega, the original, the Alpha Omicron, which is the compact version, and then the Alpha Omega Ultra. It's not as simple as saying one of them is the best or that one of them is better than the other. They each have distinct features that separates it from the other two. The Alpha Omega is kind of set up similarly to the original B7K. We've got bass, middle, and treble, drive knob, a level, and a blend that'll let you blend between more or less clean and distortion tones. Then we've got a growl and a bite switch. The only thing that's really super different about it, aside from just the sound and the way that the circuitry is, I guess, is this mod knob that goes from alpha to omega and anywhere in between. It's a continuous change between one and the other. So that gives you, in and of itself, a whole just spectrum of different bass tones. I found that all the way on the alpha mode, it was a little sort of darker, almost sounded like there was a cab on it. It was a lot more mellow. All the way on omega, it was really brash, very raw sounding, super brutal, and tons of high end. That's a knob that all three of these pedals have, and that makes total sense because it's the name of the pedal. What is it then when we move down to the smaller, compact Alpha Omicron? What is it that we actually lose? Aside from just not having the XLR output, the Alpha Omicron is also missing the bass, mid, and treble EQ knobs from the original Alpha Omega. We've retained the growl and bite switches, but now they're buttons. And then we've just got the blend, level, drive, and mod knobs. So quite a bit simpler. This is sort of assuming that you're gonna be sending this into a bass amp, I think, because of the just 1/4 inch output. It's not so much that you're going direct out. It's not a DI box like the other two. So, of course, it's smaller, it's cheaper, it's simpler. It still sounds killer, just a little bit different. It also sounded to me like when I had it all the way on the Alpha, it wasn't quite as dark and mellow as the Alpha on the other two. I'm not really sure why that is. Moving over to the Alpha Omega Ultra, there's a pretty startling difference in that this whole middle section of the pedal is now a 6-band graphic EQ. Once again, the growl and bite switches have become buttons. We've got the mod, the blend, the level, and the drive. That's all stuff that we had on the Omicron. And then basically the only difference between the Omicron and the Ultra is that we've now retained the direct output XLR. We've got the 6-band EQ. And then one of the coolest features that DARKGLASS has added recently to their Ultra pedals is this cab sim switch. And that turns on an internal cab sim that it has several loaded in already, or you can load your own via USB. The Ultra also has a headphone out for silent practicing. So a graphic EQ like this allows you to be a lot more surgical with your EQ choices, but they are going to act slightly differently from a bass, mid, and treble knob. So even though you can be a little more specific with how you cut and boost certain frequencies, it is going to sound a little bit different from the original. So you're going to have to decide for yourself if you thought that it was better or worse or sort of more suited to your needs, or which one of the three is the right one for you. I hope that I was just able to help you make that decision if you've already decided on an Alpha Omega pedal, but you don't know which one you want. To be honest, it's going to be pretty much impossible for you to go wrong with any of these three pedals. They all sound amazing. They all have the Alpha Omega tone. It really just depends on how surgical you want to get with it, how much room you have on your pedal board, and of course how much money you have. They are $200, $300, and $400 respectively. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I had a great time demoing these three pedals for you today. If you haven't already, mash that subscribe button and smack the bell. Also be sure to subscribe to my artist page, Trey Xavier Guitar, and my metal band In Virtue. If you guys are on Twitch, Trey Xavier Writes. We also have a Patreon if you're interested in behind the scenes stuff, blooper reels, raw mix tracks of all our demos. Every song that we put on here, you can download for free. Just head over there and check it out, and I'll see you guys real soon.